It sounds like what a turkey says.
Gable and Gosnell. It also sounds like a law firm. Anyway.
That it does.
Brandon.
Oh, geez. Hi.
Hi.
Back in the studio.
Back in the saddle again.
Having some fun.
Absolutely. We're having
Recording
some
about
fun.
fun.
We are, and we're in the thick of the challenges, and I'm having a good time with them. How about you?
I am.
Good.
I am. I'm looking forward to, I'm getting inspired by the challenges coming in. So I'm looking forward to step up my game a little bit. But I'm excited to talk about one of the challenge I have done.
Absolutely.
At the office.
It's possible that starting this around the holidays was a bad idea because everybody has so much going on. But if you wait for the perfect time to do anything, you never do anything.
And I don't believe in bad ideas.
Good.
Every idea is a good idea.
Good. It's how you execute it.
That's I was about to say. It just depends on execution.
Sorry. So I got a few things to read here because you know me and I like my psychology and my studies, and just want to reiterate how important not just what we're doing here is, which it is, but why being connected in the office and in your job is important. So I'm going to read, and there's snippets of studies. Psychologists have long identified the desire to feel connected to others as a basic human need. We talked about the human needs in the last episode. If you didn't listen.
Is that the pyramid?
No,
the opposite of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And interpersonal relationships have a significant impact on our mental health, health behavior, physical health, and mortality risk. So how likely you are to die. Our physiological systems are highly responsive to positive social interactions. Gable and Gosnell, these are two scientific researchers. You know what it also, it'd be a great bar name. Let's go down to Gable and Gosnell for a shot after work.
It sounds like what a turkey says.
Gable and Gosnell? It also sounds like a law firm. Anyway.
That it does.
Gable and Gosnell surmised that humans are endowed with separate reflexive brain networks for social thinking. So this is really getting into the nitty gritty, which I love. Separate reflexive brain networks. So that means there's a whole other part of your brain that's all about social. Oh, I believe that. Close relationships are linked to health as they build certain biological systems that may protect against the adverse effects of stress. Their research found that in response to social contact, the brain releases oxytocin, a powerful hormone linked to trustworthiness and motivation to help others in the workplace.
Wow. In the workplace. This is specific to workplace.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Here's a different study, Dunbar and Dunbar.
Another great lawyer name.
Another one, also a bar. Could be.
It's in the name.
And now Dunbar and Dunbar opening up for Gable and Gosnell. Dunbar and Dunbar suggested that I should research that. Are they brothers? Are they husband and wife? Are
the
they
Dunbars?
Are they just magically happen to become colleagues and they both had the same last name?
I don't know. Read what they said, and maybe that'll.
Let's see. Suggested that when I'm guessing husband and wife. There's a lot of researchers that are husband and wife.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Now I'll continue with. I'll probably stop myself again. Suggested that when individuals experience social pain in the workplace from feeling isolated, for instance, the region of the brain that is activated is the same as if physical pain had been experienced.
Wow.
It's just as harmful to be isolated as getting punched in the face.
Or worse.
I
think that's worse.
Conversely, when relationships in the workplace are characterized by cooperation, trust, and fairness, the reward center of the brain is activated, which encourages future interactions that promote employee trust, respect, and confidence, with employees believing the best in each other and inspiring each other in their performance. Okay, one more. Positive social interactions at work directly affect the body's physiological processes. Here's another one. According to Heafy and Dutton.
I believe, mortuaries. Now we're getting, because we have a Heafy.
Oh, yeah. It's spelled differently. This is a PH.
Whoa.
That's an F.
Yeah. That's weird.
According to Heafy and Dunphy. No, Heafy and Dutton. Heafy and Dutton. Positive social interactions serve to bolster physiological resourcefulness by fortifying the cardiovascular, immune, and neuroendocrine systems through immediate and enduring decreases in cardiovascular reactivity, strengthened immune responses, and healthier, a lot of words here, healthier hormonal patterns.
I'm glad you read those.
So basically, let me translate. Being connected at work affects your heart, it affects your brain. It is probably just as, if not more important than exercise or nutrition even. And I think that that's one of the things, it's so hard to study. And you're starting to hear so much more about it, that isolation and not being connected and losing that social is one of the huge mortality risks. But it's so hard to, I mean, it's easy to say, okay, they're 70 pounds overweight. They're going to be more likely to die because of, that's easy to study because it's all physical.
Right.
It's hard to get into somebody's, because the only way you can figure it out is by asking people. Do you feel isolated? Do you have connections? And so you're relying on them to tell you, which is never going to go well. And so it's really, 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 really hard to study. But more and more things are coming out where they are, as we get more advanced in medical, they're able to test for these things and see that it's not just an emotional thing. Everything's connected, and feeling lonely can weaken your heart. It makes your immune system lower. All of these things. And so I think that's really interesting.
Okay. I don't know if I'm getting some cross wires in my head, and I know that, but have we talked about this, or even if we haven't, enlighten me? Isn't that why being exiled from a tribe was a big deal?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
Back in the day. Because I know what I'm thinking I'm confusing this with is connections. They say there's some study, and I'm not going to be as technical as this, but
Hefe and Dutton.
Heffian.
Suba and Suba.
Heffian. Okay. Anyways, but they talked about you can only have about 250 actual relationships. And beyond that, then you just can't support them. And that's why tribes were a certain amount, right? Because they really wouldn't go past that. Correct.
And what, so this is a theory too, which I'm sure is supported if you go back and look evolutionarily.
Whoa.
If you go back and maybe back then, maybe it wasn't connected to emotion to be isolated like that. But way back then, that meant death because they couldn't feed themselves.
Right.
They couldn't shelter themselves. And so that developed as an evolutionary protection system. If I'm not part of the tribe, if I'm not included,
I'm going to die.
I'm going to die.
Interesting.
It's the same reason that that we're very skeptical about strangers.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the same thing because way back, if somebody came to your tribe who looked different from you, who acted different from you, they were likely there to kill you.
Wow.
That's the way the world was back then. They were likely there to kill you and take all your shit and run off with your women. I mean, that's how tribes were, And so that is the way we've evolved too, is, you look strange to me. My initial reaction is to be,
because that's rooted in us.
Put up the protection system because they're going to run off with my women, which still happens. But that would be interesting to do more research on, was them being isolated like that way back. Was that, of course it had to have been emotionally hard for them too. They, were cut off from their family and people they knew. But was it as emotionally connected then, or was it just because it got connected?
Right.
That meant they wouldn't survive.
I wouldn't be shocked if the tribes did connect that, though. They wouldn't have been able to define it.
Of course not.
But I'm sure over experience, they're like, oh yeah, this
sucks.
We could pull out their fingernails, but actually kicking them out is going to be way worse for them.
Yep,
way
absolutely.
Worse.
So interesting, but. So keep that in mind when you're doing these challenges. It's not just about fun. It's not just about enjoying your daily life more. It could really increase your lifespan and not just increase your lifespan, but enhance your life. I think that's a big, when we talk about longevity, I don't get in for I don't want to live to be 100 if the last 20 years of my life are, I'm in pain, my family's all gone, I'm at home watching Jeopardy. I don't know if there's going to be Jeopardy when I'm 100 years, but
I'm sure there
Jeopardy's, clicking along. I don't want that. I would rather end it at 80. If that's, if my wellness ends at 80, I would rather end at 80.
Yeah.
Of course, ask me at 80, and I'd be like, nope, I want to keep on going.
I'm going to keep going. I'm reading Dumpy and Dumpy this week.
Better. But what they're, the new stuff is not just about increasing the lifespan. It's about increasing how long we feel well and are active and connected.
Yeah.
So.
Well, shoot, I've been to 2 funerals in 2 weeks. You never know.
You don't know
what your lifespan is. And if you're a grumpy Gus, for the time
somebody
you have on here, what fun is that?
Jiminy
Crickets. I'll tell you, okay, on the way here, all the lights were flashing. And I tried to do the off-road, I'm going to find another route thing. And the lights on the other side were flashing, like of this access road. So it didn't go very well. So this lady just wanted to turn into the other lane. And I had a group behind me. So I waited for the other side to clear out. Well, 4 cars went in front of me. The dude behind me lost his jazz, laid on his horn, did the hands up and everything. And I'm like, I'm still going to let this lady go. You need to calm down. So then we're in the turning lane together. He didn't look over or anything, but he was missing the front of his bumper. And this is very shallow of me, but in my head, I'm like, and that defies why your bumper's gone, because you drive like a jerk.
Yeah, it's amazing how upset people get.
It's
only hurting themselves.
It is. And I know maybe he's having the worst day of his life. You never know.
Possible.
And I'm sorry that I let 5 people go in front. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you're not. But that's still no way to live. Like, you still shouldn't treat others crappy because you're having a crappy day.
No.
That's why I apologize to telemarketers before I hang up on them.
Sorry about that, Click.
I'm not doing this, but have a great day. Click.
So, Brandon, let's get in to some of the challenges you have performed.
All right. Far. You keep talking about it like I'm going to have a bunch of them. I got one.
The challenge you've performed so far.
Okay. So the one I picked was, it evolved on its own, but it was the one at work. And officially, if you listen to the first or second podcast, that is make 3 people at work smile. Laugh. Mm-hmm. Well, I do that every day.
I believe it.
Anyways.
I believe it.
Because I enjoy conversations. So what happened was I needed a stamp. Okay. And this was for a personal bill that I was, because we have outgoing mail that you don't have to stamp anything, but if it's yours, you have to put a stamp on it, which is fine. And so I went down to the branch and I asked a question that truly aged me. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So we have ITMs, which are interactive teller machines. And I asked, can you buy stamps from an ATM now, since this is more interactive?
Right.
Do you remember the days you could do that?
That's where I always got my stamps.
Yep. You can't do that anymore.
Really?
No, they stopped doing that. And I knew that. I knew we stopped putting them in ATMs years ago, right?
How many years ago?
We were like 10, 15 now.
Really?
You see? You're like, oh, well, no, I did it. Yeah, it's probably been a long time since you bought stamps from an ATM. They just don't do it anymore, right?
Steal them from Dan.
But I'm thinking, well, see, there you go. You have a resource. But I was thinking, we're evolving, and that was a really nice convenience. So I go down to the branch and I said, hey, can I get stamps at the ITM? And they looked at me like I was
crazy,
ridiculous. Well, and as young as they are, they probably have no clue that ever existed.
Well, they're probably like, stamp? What is a stamp?
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah.
Just send the bill automatically. Anyways,
text them. Yeah.
So the branch manager, she goes, look, for our wedding, or no, we were going to send Christmas cards last year and we didn't, but I bought all the stamps for it. And so she goes, I'll just give you one. It's no big deal. And I really appreciated that. But I also believe in always pay your debts.
Yeah. And
so I was like, no, don't, let me pay you for them or whatever. She's like, if you pay me, I will kill you.
Oh.
Like, she was just dead set. These have been in my purse forever. Just take, it's 2 stamps. I'm fine. So she ripped them off. She gave them to me and I used it. And my big thing was, it was like something for me personally. If it was for another reason, I probably would have been a little more lenient, but this was just literally, I had to go buy them. Okay. So I was racking my brain on what I could do to pay back, because monetary, I wasn't able to do it. She would not accept the money. And favor wise, it's kind of one of those, I don't want anything I would do anyways naturally become this payback.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to treat a customer better because I'm paying you back for the stamps. So I sat there and I work. Okay. I am choosing to incorporate magic tricks into things.
Okay.
Which, as we're talking about more fun, It is more fun. I did an unpolished trick in front of a group I was presenting to, and not a single person reacted. Like the trick worked.
What was the trick?
It's and this is a real old one. It's cops and robbers. You put 3 kings in a deck and a joker on the bottom, cut the deck, and they're all together. You can make them all together.
Okay.
And so I did it. I made them all come together, and
nobody cared?
Not a single person. And this was talking about networking to a I don't know the proper terminology, so I'm going to butcher this, but a hairstyle school, basically. Okay. And I thought it would be great coming in because I was doing the 80-20 rule and all that, and I just thought it would be awesome. And I got no reaction. I was like, we're going to move on. That's fine. But with all magic performing, you have your failures. So, but I have 2 card tricks that I have polished, and they're very good. And so I did this one, and it was first just the branch employees I was going to do it with.
Okay.
Well, then a few people came down because the coffee bar's there. So a few other people came down, and I was able to say, you know what, you can jump on in too. Because actually, the more people I have, the better this trick actually works. So I said, I'm paying you back for your stamps by performing this trick, and it went phenomenally.
Same trick?
No, different trick.
Okay.
This is a better one than the one that I did, and it went phenomenally. It worked great. It impressed everybody. Here I am talking about how great I was and how excited everyone was. But everybody, you could tell, really enjoyed it. Like it was a moment of their day that the manager was there, all the tellers and EEs were there, and we all paused and we did the trick, and it was just a lot of fun. And with all magic, it's a show. Like you need to present. So I got to do a little show for him too.
You were
significant. About 5 minutes. I was. And it was, oh yeah, I see what you did there. But no, it was very enjoyable. And I thought, you know what, to record, and I wish I would have recorded it, and I will the next one. But to record me making somebody laugh, I don't think would be as fun as this experience was for them.
I think that magic is a huge one because it is the same as fun, which is you're doing it for no other reason than to dazzle, than to feel something. It's not an essential thing, and magic is I do a bunch of weird stuff at home. My husband calls me a hippie. If we go to the casino, I have my alligator foot, and I've got some special luck spray, and now I'm getting into like Wiccan stuff, where you light the cleansing candle and
you can't do that in a casino, can you?
No. Yeah, I'm just lighting candles in the casino. They don't care.
It's fine.
And he asked me once, he's like, do you really believe in all of that stuff? And I was like, I'm not going to say yes or no, but guess what? It makes my life more fun.
Oh yeah. Magic, in my opinion, is like, not traditional wrestling, but wrestling on TV. We know it's fake.
Right.
But gosh, it's enjoyable.
It is so enjoyable.
There is no way that I can magically make 3 cards sit at the bottom.
Right.
Like you just can't.
Right.
But to experience seeing it and not knowing exactly, that's so fun.
The appreciation in my mind of someone who is willing to put in the work and the effort, because really good magic takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of practice. And unless you're, going to go be David Copperfield, you're not getting any money out of it.
Correct.
You're not going to go make a living at it.
Nope.
So you're putting a lot of time and effort into mastering something for the sole purpose of making other people's lives more fun.
Yeah, to entertain.
And I think that's fantastic.
There was a Southwest flight I was on, and unfortunately, I did not have my children with me. But what's a male steward?
I think they're all called flight attendants.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. But there was a flight attendant, and he had good magic tricks. Like not just a card trick. He had good magic tricks. Like he made a big coin appear and everything. I did see the big coin in his back pocket because I was behind him.
Ow.
So you're not in the best platform. But I mean, he would just whip one out. Okay, that came out wrong. He would bust out multiple tricks. And you're sitting there, and it was just so cool. And that actually inspired me more to learn a few more tricks. Because I was like,
and he's doing this fun stuff, because I would assume it can be very tedious as well, especially with all the delays that have been lately. People are cranky, people are mad. For a flight attendant, not only to make other people feel better, but it makes his job more fun for him.
Absolutely.
I'm sure too. fantastic.
But he definitely put in the time. But again, it's bringing something entertaining in during a, like you said, stressful or boring time.
Absolutely.
Or boring. And I'm not gonna lie, working at a branch is not always the most glorious, exciting world. And that's why I thought, you know, this is really gonna cover all the debt that I feel I have to pay, and we're gonna have fun while we do it too.
That's awesome. Please record the next one.
Yes, I have
We
a
will
new
put it-
trick, which actually we could do after this recording. I can do it with the group.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm gonna do a little
record that.
magic. Little
You'll
magic.
get to see it. We'll record it.
Oh, we're gonna record that one. Oh, jeez.
We'll see. We'll record it. We'll determine afterwards if you guys get to see it. How's that? So Ashley Quaid is one of our fanatics of fun, and she's really been embracing this. And I would like to say too, and I'm not sure if this is probably going to sound a little tit for tatty, and I hate that, but
You do.
having Ashley involved in this, she then invited everyone to their 10th anniversary party for their company,
Oh, yep.
Virtual IT.
Yep.
It's something I may or may not have gone to in the past,
But now,
but knowing that she's putting in the work and effort, and that's how connections work. You know, somebody puts in the work and effort for you, it makes you a lot more likely to put in the work and the effort for them. And that's not the way engagement equity is supposed to work. You know, you're supposed to be doing it for the sake of doing it, but we are human beings.
yeah.
And just knowing that connection was there and that she was willing to put in effort for us, I made it a point. I already had 2 other events to go to.
Oh,
And I was like, I'm going to make it a point to rearrange things. And I at least have to go
yeah.
and see her and congratulate her and have a glass of wine.
Standard.
But
Always a good opportunity.
so this, and that's another connection that is meaningful to my life, and hopefully it's meaningful to hers. So she's done a couple of them, and these are things that she has very kindly put in the Engaging Life Facebook page. If you would like to go see that, and has shared with us, she did some pictures, so we will include that as well. We can flash some of those on the screen. But the first one she chose was a self-challenge to embrace new things. So she travels to St. Louis for work, and she said that she was going to try to complete that challenge then. So what she did is she tried, when she went to dinner, an espresso tonic, which I saw a picture of it. It was not alcoholic, but it was basically espresso and tonic water. I've never heard of one of these. This must be a St. Louis thing. They'll probably make it here to Nebraska in about 5 years.
That was, 5 or 7.
And her review at 4 stars, 4 out of 5.
Interesting.
She said it was interesting. The perfect combination of carbonation and coffee. Definitely worth trying. She was happy she tried it, but never would have tried it before this challenge.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
It wasn't on her radar. And then for dinner, she got poke, which
Is that like a poke bowl?
poke bowls,
Pokeballs. Yep.
which I love them, but apparently she had never tried them before. This is a Hawaiian dish and very good. She said when she travels to St. Louis, she always tries to get dinner with their field technician there and his wife. She asked them to pick a restaurant that they had not been to either, and they all tried to use chopsticks. Apparently none of them had ever used chopsticks.
Wow.
I know.
Poke bowl. That's Hawaiian.
Poke bowls are Hawaiian. I'm not sure. It's kind of a Hawaiian / Asian.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is why you would get
I thought poke bowl was.
why you would get the
Maybe it's the fish.
chopsticks. Yeah. It's
Maybe
kinda,
just the
it's kinda
fish
that,
theme on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of that slash. And she gave that one 5 stars. So
Ooh.
love that. So I'll have to tell her my favorite poke place here in Omaha is the one in Inner Rail.
Is it still there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Because
Yes, I know. They went through a major cleaning out. That one survived, which Inner Rail is like a collective. So really the point is not for them to stay there forever. It's to move on and create their own store.
someone asked me about that.
Yeah.
if
But
that's
some
what
of
it
them, I
was.
believe, didn't do that. They just didn't
Hanging
didn't
out
make
there.
it.
Momo's been there since the beginning.
Yep. Momo's still there.
The Indian restaurant is where I learned what biryani was, and it was the best.
Biryani.
Biryani. And we had some friends that live right by there, and so we went to dinner with them, and I was talking about it the whole time we walk in, and it's a Mediterranean restaurant now. And I was like, oh, man.
Yeah. That one, it's really good, though. The Mediterranean one's really good.
I'm a picky eater, and Mediterranean food, like, checks no boxes of things I
Really?
like. Well, I don't
Meat.
know the olives and the oil
Oh,
and all
okay.
that goes with it.
It's
It's
just
I'm
not
just
your
not
thing.
not my thing.
My daughter and I go there a lot, and she walks across the street to Vitality Bowl.
Oh, Liz loves Vitality Bowl.
And while I'm getting my poke bowl, And so by that time,
She's
we
getting a
come
bunch
back,
of
there's a lot of bowls going on.
granola and
Oh yeah, she loves acai
berries.
bowls. That's like her favorite.
acai.
So Ashley had another challenge, which was the client's colleague challenge. And so there's a picture she has of Leslie Byers, which we will flash on the screen for you. She said, I just recently hosted a candle party with my stepmom that Leslie put together. As we were chatting, I mentioned I had my work 10-year anniversary party coming up, the one I went to,
Bam.
and would love to work with her getting candles for our goodie bags. I didn't get a goodie bag. Oh, Ashley and I are going to have words. I probably got there late.
Or maybe you didn't see it.
Or they're like, that girl's had enough wine. She don't get a goodie bag.
She
I had
took
half
a bottle
glass
of wine. She doesn't get a
I had
bag.
like half a glass of wine. What is that in Bridesmaids? You don't get a puppy. I took 8.
That lady.
She said, I gave her my card, and sure enough, the last company she worked at before starting her candle business used virtual IT.
Cool.
Such a small world we live in. So then, fast forward 1 week, Leslie knocked out 100 candles with specialty labels for my event. So, of course, I had to treat my new friend and vendor to lunch, where I learned so much about her. She worked in IT for 25 years, was the first female director of information technology at the World Herald. She got into making candles after she'd retired, and it's been taking off ever since. She said, if you ever need soy candles that smell amazing, Leslie is your girl. Unfortunately, I do not see the business name here, but I will get that for you guys if you do want to reach out to Leslie.
I believe it's Leslie Soy Candles. I'm just joking.
So?
That is not it. No, that's
That'd be pretty creative.
.com.
But I think this is so fun because not only did she get to work with somebody who was connected to the business, she took her out and got to know her more, and now has a solid connection, a new friend. And that's something she wouldn't have done before. You know, it would have been like, I need some candles. Here you go. Here's my order. Transactional, boom, done. But she took it to this next level because of the challenges. And, you know, you just hope that that kind of gets into your brain and you start doing that more, because it's so easy. And I say this for myself too. It's so easy to just sit all the time and be like, I should be doing that. But, you know, we're in a rush. Taking the time to get to know somebody, taking the time to take them out to lunch and ask about them, it doesn't fit into a lot of our schedules. And it doesn't come easily.
Yep.
You have to buck the trend. You have to take time. You have to make sacrifices. You have to cut other things out of your schedule that are important.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. But once you form the habit of it, you know, and if you are somebody who likes certainty, an idea would be every Thursday at lunch.
Yep.
I am reserving 11 to 1 every single Thursday. I have to have lunch with somebody new. Because then you develop kind of that opposite, where if you don't have it filled, you get the anxiety of, I need somebody to fill this. And it becomes the opposite of not wanting to do it to not wanting not to do it.
Well, and that's the approach I always took with one-to-ones in the networking world, is I wanted people to have the mindset of, when you don't have a one-to-one in a week, you feel like you've missed something.
You missed something.
Like almost, and I tried to say, you know, same with your meeting too, but it truly, because I did the same thing. It was Thursdays because I hated working, and this was when I was selling countertops, but I hated working after like 2 because my BNI group was at 7 a.m. and that used to be early. I have kids now, so who cares? But I would be so tired by the end of the day. And so what I did is I would block out 2 to 3. And I'm like, well, yeah, I got an appointment. And then it's kind of like, yeah, 3 o'clock, man, we'll call it good today. Yeah. And it was consistent. And then what was cool is if they were in my group, I would be able to ask them that morning, hey, we still on for 3 today? Great. See you then.
Yep. Awesome. So those were some of the challenges we have completed this week. I believe next week we have a guest.
I don't know who it is. I can't think of the first.
I thought it might be Dave, but he asked to.
We're moving. Well, we can just record.
But we can just do a different day.
Yeah, we just got to record a different day.
We will have a guest next week, but we will still talk about some of the challenges we've done. Right now, we're going to go film Brandon's magic trick.
Booyah.
And if it's any good, you guys will get to see it. If it's not, we'll redo it. You'll get to see something.
Actually, if it's not, that would be better to put out, because you can even have fun when your trick fails. It's about recovery.
So if you're doing any of the challenges, or if you're doing anything for fun in your office, please let us know. You can comment in the Engaging Life Facebook page. Mm-hmm. You can comment on our YouTube channel. You can send me an email, Angela@pixelfiremarketing.com. All of the above. Please let us know.
Mail a letter to the Pixel Fire office.
Yes, you can go get a stamp from Brandon's colleague.
Only if you do magic trick.
Only if you do magic trick. But thank you for joining us at the Engaging Life podcast. We'll talk to you next time.